I
Um,
like that if I throw my hands up, like normally, it'll just have them pop up randomly. Like, watch this. Boop.
Welcome back. This is the first episode of Pound the Rock podcast with your boy King John 301 and none other than Mr. Ruben himself. We're gonna get into these topics about the NBA, basically what we think about different happenings in the league in basketball in general, athletes in general. Sometimes we'll venture into other sports, but our focus will be on basketball. Now, I think we should say who we're repping. Should we say who we're repping,
I
or is that too
mean,
fucking obvious?
you already know.
So
Go
we
Spurs,
see
go.
if we have one more person joining, we might have another person joining. But as of right now, this man is the only Spurs fan I know, and you can see it clearly on his background. I have to ask. I've never asked you this before, but why? What made you like the Spurs? Like when did that start?
So it was it was probably around 2005 when they won their third championship,
So you remember
and
you remember that.
yeah,
I don't remember too
and
much about
I remember I bought. I think I asked my dad to buy me like a Spurs like calendar for that season, and it had a bunch of players on it.
it.
And NBA Live '05, they were my team.
Classic game.
Yeah, bro. And Ginobili, yeah, and like Ginobili has been my favorite player forever.
Forever.
So Spurs are my squad. You know.
I feel. I have to say the first playoff series I ever watched or basketball series I remember watching was my dad was a Shaq fan, not a Heat fan, but a where he at fan. He's one of those where Shaq at fans, right? So he'd follow Shaq. Shaq was on the Lakers, with Kobe, and I used to live in Michigan at the time, so I lived in Ann Arbor when Shaq and Kobe were going up against the Pistons. So here I am rooting for the Lakers, being in the heart of Ann Arbor, while everyone else is rooting for the Detroit Pistons. That was the first series I remember. The second series I remember was Miami Heat versus the Dallas Mavericks in '06, and that series was insane. But that was the first series I watched. I didn't watch basketball '07, 2008. I remember watching the finals. I remember Kevin Garnett being traded or free agency to go to the Celtics, and they ended up in the finals. And that's really when I became a Celtics fan. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's bandwagon or not, but shoot, at this point, I don't think it's
See,
bandwagon because we
I
haven't won a
this
freaking
is
chip in
yeah,
years.
this is my thinking on it. Like I'd say we both ended up becoming fans like a year, like around when they won a
Right,
championship,
because
right?
that's when you see the teams. Like that's when
Yeah,
you get to
but if
watch them.
you but if you stay with that team, regardless of what happens after, so like obviously the Spurs have won two more chips since then, and
Hmm.
Celtics have been like whatever, right?
Right.
But like we stuck with the team throughout all of it, and like you know, it's kind of funny because now that the Spurs finally missed the playoffs after like 22 years or something, and
Yep.
we're really starting over. But we got an exciting new team. Like I'm very excited to see us ball out. This young core of Dejounte and Keldon Johnson and Lonnie and Derek White. Like I am very excited to see what the future holds for the
Would you
guy
say
for the
you're a
NBA.
Spurs stan?
Yeah.
Would you think your
I would
fanship is
say
beyond
I would
fan?
say yeah, I would say that like I'm not a there are people like there are super fans in every sport that have like their entire room is like for the team. I'm not
Hmm.
like that, but
Yeah.
I follow the Spurs probably more than any other sports team that I've followed like
Gotcha.
historically. And
Gotcha.
I'm willing to go to war over any Tim Duncan slander, any
Oh, we're gonna get into
Ginobili
that.
slander,
We're gonna get into some Tim Duncan
any Spurs
topics.
slander that I see on the timeline or like,
You go into essay mode for that.
bro,
War mode. I
I go to
feel.
war. I will go to war. I've gone to
I
war.
feel.
I went on this one Twitter Twitter beef with this guy. It was when the timeline was arguing Ray Allen versus Ginobili, better player.
I didn't
But
see that. You know, I'm not on Twitter that much, but Ray Allen versus Ginobili, better player. Well,
yeah,
I already know you probably went crazy
yeah,
over
or
that
like
one.
because I like better career.
Better
You
player?
you could argue both ways. You definitely could argue both ways. Like
Yeah.
Ray Allen, until Steph
Before,
inevitably
yeah,
beats it,
before
he
he
is
before he
the
turned into
three
a
point.
shooter. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a
like
dog.
Ray Allen is the 3 point leader until Steph inevitably breaks it.
Yeah.
But Ray Allen, yeah, Ray Allen, young Ray Allen was dirty. Like man, dunked on everybody. But Ginobili has always been like he's the GOAT six man. First off,
Yep, the best
has
six man ever.
more has you know more hustle plays. Like always wanted to win no matter what. Like that's I think the biggest thing that the Spurs teams like all of them had in common is that they would do whatever it took to win. So
To
like if he
win.
had to come off the bench, he was going to come off the bench.
When our third comes on, we'll probably ask him for his Heat story. But till then, let's go ahead and dive into first of all, I never asked you outside of before we get into our first topic, which covers James Harden. I never asked you who are the other players like who are other players you like to watch?
Now or like historically.
Both, but give me now first.
Now, uh, Kellen Johnson
Oh boy.
and but actually though, I'll give you teams. I'll give you players that aren't Spurs related. But
Just your favorites. Like I'm interested to know.
favorite player, I definitely have them. Like now that you're asking me on the spot, I like
Yeah, but now
remember
you're
them.
blanking.
But
I feel.
Luca, I like how Luca just like the game. He can just slow the game. Like it always looks like he's moving in slow motion, but he just
Hmm.
like he's been playing professionally since he was 14. Like he just understands the game so well that
His whole life,
you know,
really.
yeah, that he just like he came into that Mavs team and automatically made them so much better. And like I am excited to see what they do in the future. I feel like they need a couple more pieces,
Hmm.
and like they need Porzingis to be healthy, which is like
For
always
sure.
50-50.
I always thought
Um,
they might have been able to they played their cards right. I felt like if they added Giannis to that team, but
yeah,
he went and signed the
would have been
Supermax.
a
But
huge addition.
I was thinking like Luca, you could take the ball out of Giannis's hands. You have KP who doesn't really play post, big man anyway, but they can
Hmm.
both be interior defenders for you, especially if you play Giannis at the big. But yeah, Luca, Luca got when he came in his rookie year, he should have been an all star. And when they had the fan voting for him, like he was always leading the fan voting anyway. But when he got snubbed, I was like, I mean, I know you could just tell he was going to be an all star the following year anyway. So I was just like, I haven't seen someone come in like that and just act like they've been there. Like his first year felt like his fifth year. Like he was just dominating and just playing the game so well. And really, if you look at his body language just throughout the wins and throughout his big plays, he doesn't even feel like it's like he doesn't even feel like he's performing at his best. Like he hit the bucket to send it into overtime against the Blazers, I think, with point 0.6 left, the shot from the corner.
Yeah, that was
And
a
and he's
ridiculous
shaking
shot.
his
First off,
head. And I was like, I was looking at it like because I'm trying to put myself in that situation. I'm like, I feel like he's just disappointed that the game's going into OT, that it never should have been an OT, like they should have finished off the Blazers. So I'm like, he's not even playing to his expectations, and he's damn near averaging a triple double, and basically a superstar now. So yeah,
yeah.
Luca is definitely Don Luca. Don Luca is definitely a great player. Um,
Um, Another one I would say I like I like Jamal Murray. I do like his game a lot. I love Jokic. Love Jokic's game.
Jokic, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't watch a lot of Jokic, but obviously when in the bubble playoffs, I got to see a lot of him. That yeah,
yeah.
Jokic is he's kind of like the same thing. He's not the uber athletic prototype, but he just
Jokic
knows
is the
basketball,
opposite of athletic.
bruh.
This
Like,
man,
I don't know how he does it, honestly. It's really, but it's so dangerous when you're big is a triple double threat and
yeah,
the usual
always.
rotations they make on in NBA defense where they pick up the first guy. He's already thinking like two steps ahead. So even if you pick up the second guy, he knows where he's going to go. He knows where he's going to pass the ball. But most of the time, they pick up the first guy, leave the second rotation man open. So he'll fake to the first man, get that defender off, and then just kick open. And that's how they busted the Clippers. And I'm like, I'm watching this man skip the first rotation pass every single time, and it either results in an open three or a layup. Jokic is different, but
Yeah,
yeah,
his court
that's
vision, his some of the ridiculous circus shots that he can make, but
yeah,
like he
that's
practices them. Like I just I just love his game so much. Shout out to my friend Shane, who's a Nuggets fan. We're always talking about the Nuggets and the Spurs and like the league. Um, and like I just ended up watching a fair amount of Nuggets games and like highlights and like yeah, Jokic is really like revolutionizing the center position for sure.
center
Like
vision. Yeah,
I've never seen there's no other big in history who's doing what he has done to the degree that he's done it in
right.
terms of like being able to score and also just being able to like just have those ridiculous outlet passes like the one hand like javelin throws across the court. Like his
The
vision is just like different. It's just different from other centers historically. I
good
love it.
thing is when our legends retire, we still have some solid players that are going to be entertaining to watch
Yeah, league is in
because
good hands for
the league
sure.
is in good hands for sure. I don't really pick favorites like that. I like having people that are entertaining to watch. But my favorite playlist actually just got. You want all my favorite players or just NBA favorite players? Like, because I was going NBA, WNBA.
Go WNBA.
Start with WNBA. So, and or just women's basketball. So
Yo, real
Sabrina.
quick, real quick, shout out to Becky Hammon,
Oh, shouts out
first
Becky. Shouts out Becky
first
Hammond. That's right. That's right. Pop,
San Antonio
Pop keep
legend.
getting thrown out of shit. So shouts out Becky
Yeah,
Hammond.
Pop knew what he
Just to
was doing. Shout
cover.
out to Becky,
Shouts out Becky. All right.
San
So
Antonio legend,
my Sabrina Ionescu is probably my
baller.
favorite women's player right now. She is like I watch a WNBA not religiously, but I'll watch a WNBA game. And when she made her debut, I was just like, oh, I'm ready for this WNBA season. I can't wait to start. I'm gonna watch all her games. When she got hurt, it felt like the WNBA was empty to me. And that's like something I've never felt like because I'll watch WNBA games. When she got hurt, I was like, I have no reason to watch this shit. So
Yeah,
Sabrina Ionescu is probably my not probably she's my favorite women's player right now. I could get into her game, but I'm just trying to list off my favorite players. Moving into NBA, Kyrie Irving, probably my favorite basketball
yeah.
player right now.
It doesn't really surprise me.
Why?
Maybe only because of the supposed bad blood with the Celtics, but like,
Well, you know me. I've never I've never subscribed to that shit. You know me. I was never part of that train. That was actually people in Boston. Like I'm over here chilling. Like I still got my Kyrie Irving jersey. So Kyrie, I could I don't get a lot of shit from Kyrie, but there are some moves and really just things that I like to pattern my game off of, and it's really just around handling the ball. Um, yeah, you watch Kyrie, you can learn a lot like just about basketball.
arguably best ball handler in NBA history.
I
You could
think
easily
so,
make that
man.
argument.
Yeah, and it's really the small things. It's not that I'm obsessing over the great moves he makes and stuff like that. But when you just watch the nuanced parts of the game. I just love the nuances in basketball. You watch how the ball returns to his hand and how it always looks like he just has like sticky gloves on and the ball is there. It's always in his hand, whether it's a crossover behind the back, he's never looking down at it or something like that, never fumbling it. Like it's that shit that you really look at. It's like, oh, we say he
Yeah,
has the great handles because he's picking up ankle breakers and stuff like that, but just the fundamentals shit. You see it with Kyrie, Chris Paul, like the ball. It looks like it's just staying in their hand, and that's
yeah.
really
They just
cool.
have elite ball control and just an understanding of where the ball is at all times that
Right.
a lot of other players don't have. Yeah.
It's really cool to me. That's Kyrie's my favorite NBA player, but my other favorites are you're gonna be surprised by this one: DeMar DeRozan, Markel
Shout
Fultz,
out to DeMar,
and
Markel. Nice.
I'll go ahead and throw in Kawhi Leonard. I like Kawhi Leonard. He's always been solid, solid too. I think best two-way player in the NBA. It's either between him or AD. I think, but AD doesn't. If AD went as hard on defense as like let's say a Kawhi, then that would be a very disgusting player.
I think it's just different, like based on their positions and who they're
Right.
normally guarding. Like Kawhi has to be, I guess, you could argue he has to be a little more active just because he's on smaller guard, like smaller players,
And he
whereas AD
guards the
is normally,
perimeter. Yeah,
yeah,
80 can just use like, raw athleticism to get himself like a block or two or something like that.
yeah.
But yeah, those are my favorite players, man. Like Markel, shouts out Markel. He's been balling. DeMar, let me tell you how I got hip to DeMar. DeMar, this man, I went against this man. I did fantasy basketball last year, 2019-2020 season. I went up against DeMar, and I was like, bro, what the I was like, why is this man damn near
Oh,
averaging a triple double this week? I'm
he's
like,
consistently averaging 25 and 5
I
for like the
don't, I'm
last three
like, I'm watching
seasons.
this. I'm like, this man, from what I know, this man doesn't shoot threes that much. He's like, he doesn't really, his game doesn't really translate to wins. I start watching this man like give these teams buckets after buckets, and I'm like, all right, let me like watch DeMar DeRozan. He's does it, and the thing is, he's kind of like a Kawhi. Not, I mean, back then he doesn't make a lot of noise with his play, but he will kill you on court. Like he'll give you 28, 8, 7 on a good night. So
Because like Kawhi, he knows his spots. He
he
knows
knows how to
exactly.
get to them.
Yeah, he
Like
knows how
he's
to
a
get to his
pro.
spots. He knows what he likes. Yeah,
I left off one player, but one player that's starting to grow on me, CJ McCollum. He's a pro. He's a professional. I
he's a
don't
certified bucket.
there's no like I talked about this in one of my YouTube videos, but the way he gets his buckets, you can see him train, but his training you can see in game. Like some training from players you just don't see like actually in the game. Like you see what he works on, his repetitions like in game. CJ McCollum is definitely a professional. Um, yeah, those are my favorite players though. Kyrie, Sabrina, INSQ, shouts out to you ballers. Got the 100 ball with 100 ball, and proud of Bear because proud of me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I have to ask, bro, what did you think about this whole entire situation? Just off of the fact that James Harden was basically looking for a trade. Like, what do you think of that whole
Well,
Houston situation? Where do you think it's gonna go? And is Harden
I don't know.
justified in doing what
Oh,
he did?
actually,
This
uh,
guy.
justified. I'm gonna say no because knowing what we know about COVID and how dangerous it is to be out, even regardless of who it was for, what the occasion was,
Mm-hmm.
being out at a club, any public gathering like that where it's indoors and there's probably like hundreds of people there, like it's just so like not even from a basketball like team standpoint, just from like a health standpoint at this point, like
Yeah.
that's just so irresponsible that like I don't advocate for it at all. I saw it, I was like, you deserve whatever punishment that the league is about to hand down to you, like 100%. Um, and the antics are the antics, like as far as
Mm-hmm.
that goes, and like his star treatment. We know star players get special treatment in this league.
Hell
We
yeah.
know that, but
Which is deserved
in some cases. But
in some cases.
shout
I
out
think if
to
you're an MVP, you're definitely gonna get.
yeah, shout out to Keldon Johnson for consistently getting fouled and not getting the calls. But it's another story. But
This guy.
but what was I gonna say? But no, but like he's still. It's so funny to me because regardless of whatever, like where there are all the memes about James Harden like looking bigger and like
which he
always
was
his body type
definitely.
always changing.
Yeah.
This man could look like the fucking Michelin Man, and he's still gonna drop 47 and 8 on you on any given night. Like he's a certified baller. So as long as he keeps himself safe and
Yeah.
the wins keep coming for the Rockets,
Yep.
and now that Wall is back and balling, like if he chooses to stay, I do think they'll be a pretty solid team.
So I looked at it like, where the hell are you going? Like that's what I'm looking at this shit. Like I'm like, so obviously I think a few weeks ago it was, I don't even know how long this shit has been dragged out, but I'm looking at it like, okay, you want to go to Brooklyn. If Brooklyn's gonna if Brooklyn's gonna, let's just knock out the West, because unless a Western Conference team is literally trading you back a franchise player, like nothing's gonna happen in the West. And obviously the Rockets aren't gonna want to trade Harden to a Western Conference team. So let's
Yeah,
just knock the West out. Like everyone has learned that lesson. You don't trade within conference. So you want to go to Brooklyn, right? Brooklyn is going to have to send you back damn near their squad if you're going to be on that team, right? They're not. And then remember, everyone was like, oh, they're going to give Kyrie up for Harden. Like, you're not going to get Kyrie, Kevin Durant. You're probably going to get the role players, the Dinwiddie's, the LeVerts, maybe DeAndre
yeah,
Jordan, Jared Allen. That's who you're going to get, right? So when the Nets said, when the Rockets were asking for like either KD or Kyrie or something like that. So I'm like, okay, this is dead, right? Drew Holiday went to the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm like, this is done. All the stars got locked in, started signing all their big money contracts and all that. So now I'm like, okay, bro, where where do you think you're going? Like literally, where do you think no one's going to pick you up right now? No one's going to trade, basically give their star to you because they don't know how you feel about this organization. Okay, you want to win, you want to go to Brooklyn. That move's just not going to work because obviously Brooklyn's not going to, give up their basically their team or one of the stars they just signed last year and have not stepped foot on the court to play and compete for a championship yet. So I'm looking at it like, where are you trying to force a move to? So I get you want to contend, you want to leave Houston and stuff like that, but I'm like, I think Harden should look at his team. Like he has a really solid team in Houston right now. Now I know you had to go up against the Kevin Durant led Golden State Warriors, and you missed the finals by a game, and now LeBron is in your conference, right? But if you look at your team, you have a nice enough team to contend. Now, I'm not calling you a finals lock, right? But I'm not calling you the first seed in the West, but you have a decent enough squad to compete with. And I'm like,
they can compete. They're not
they
going to go
can they
far, I
can
don't think.
compete.
But
I think they could
like,
go far. If I'm looking
I
at the
just think the
West,
West. I just think the West is too deep.
I
Lakers,
don't I don't think the
Clippers,
West is that's
Nuggets.
that's that's where I disagree. I don't think the West is that deep at all this year. Like
No,
they're
dude,
don't
are
get me
you
wrong,
kidding
they're a
me?
good conference, but I don't think from what the Lakers showed me
Lakers,
in the bubble,
Clippers, Nuggets, Suns are 5-1 right now.
I don't take the
Spurs,
Suns seriously at all. I'm
but
not I'm not taking this man just
yeah,
said the Spurs. I'm not taking the Suns seriously at all. But
nah, but
I will
there's.
say the top, yeah, I think both conferences are top heavy right now. That's what I think.
I don't think the Rockets are nearly deep enough to contend with these other teams. To be completely honest with you,
They're not. Yeah, maybe they're lacking some depth, but I think what they have is enough. Like I think what they have is enough.
I mean, they're
But
gonna
I
need Harden to carry like
I don't
hard.
even think they need Harden to carry. Like you have John Wall now. You can take the ball out of Harden's hands. And everyone's like, oh,
You
Harden
could let
can't play
Harden
off
play.
ball. Harden can't play off ball. Bro, they're superstars. They're MVP caliber players. Like they adapt. They know how to play. If you're asking James Harden to play off ball, I promise you, James Harden would not care if John Wall brings three people in the paint and he has to spot
Well,
up for an open three. Like
well,
I
see, he
promise
could
you,
have
he
said the
wouldn't care.
same. But you could have said the same thing about when Chris Paul was with them.
I don't know if Chris Paul attracts that much attention going to the paint as much as a John Wall though, and a DeMarcus Cousins.
I just think Chris Paul is more dynamic with the ball, and
Yeah.
he like
I'll be real, bro.
they're both
When
pretty.
Wall was in DC, he locked it. He clamped Chris Paul every time Chris came to DC. I remember them games. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, for sure, Harden should have been in a finals at least.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to disrespect John Wall at all, but I like just Chris Paul, like as an offensive, he is in the true sense of the word, he is a point guard, and like
Facts.
he is one of the best point guards that we've had in a long
Facts.
time, for
Oh
sure.
yeah. And
So
he's getting younger somehow.
yeah, this man just keeps staying consistent, keeps
Keeps
balling.
balling. He's on that
That
LeBron
Suns
system.
team, I'm telling you, that Suns team is about to make noise
You like that
for
Suns
sure this
team?
year.
I'm not buying in. Not yet. I can't do it. Not yet. I mean,
I think they're
I
eight
saw
and no
eight.
bubble,
Yeah.
8-0 bubble, and now they add Chris Paul and got rid of Kelly Oubre, who's been
Man, if they could
buns
have kept
in Golden
if
State.
no no listen don't do Kelly Oubre
This
like
man
that.
has been
That man was
buns.
balling in Phoenix. Hold on. If I swear if they kept Oubre, I'd be like, okay, maybe this team might be nice. But obviously, bringing in Chris Paul, they were gonna have to get rid of a solid player.
Yeah,
But
give me Chris
Oubre's
Paul
been
over Kelly
improving.
Oubre like seven
Bro,
times
I mean
out of seven
it's better
of the
for the
week.
team though. Don't get me
I
wrong. I'm
mean,
not saying the Phoenix Suns are going to be ass. They're making the playoffs, but I'm not. I just think both conferences are top heavy. So you have the
I think
Bucks,
Suns. I think Suns
Celtics.
go farther than the Rockets,
I'm not. Nah. The
or at
fuck?
least finish, or at least finish better than the Rockets.
Nah. Nah. I can't give you that.
Bro,
Nah.
I'll bet.
I just think
I'll
talent
bet
wise, the Rockets
money.
have way too more. This man
I'll
said
bet
bet
money
money.
on the Suns finishing better than the Rockets this
So
year.
who you got now? So you got the Suns finishing better than Rockets. You got the Spurs having a better record than the Celtics. So you run a two
Yeah,
game parlay now, big fella. This is where I say the conferences are top heavy. If you're not part of that 2-3 team up top, Bucks, Celtics, I don't even want to put the Sixers there because I can't take the Sixers seriously. Like it's
but you're not going to
in
put
the
the Nets up
East,
there.
it's no, I am Bucks, Celtics, Nets. Those are the three teams. I'm like these three teams have a chance to go to the finals. The Nets, that motherfucker's probably going to go to the finals. Let's be real. I don't think the Bucks. The Bucks got blown out by the Knicks. I don't think Bucks. I'm not taking the Bucks seriously. Moving over to the West, you got the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets. I'll leave it. Like you could throw in the Jazz and the Phoenix Suns. I'll stick with the three that I know that are probably going to give me results, other than a team blowing a 3-1 lead. But they still got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, so I can't discount
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
those are like the three teams where I could be like, okay, these teams are probably going to the finals. In the East, I think it's done. I think Kyrie and Katie, if they stay healthy, bro, it's
The only thing now is like losing Dinwiddie is like huge. They still have a good bench for sure. They still are
yeah.
pretty deep, but losing Dinwiddie, who
He'll be
was
back
gonna,
though. He'll be back, but
yeah,
he's out. He's gonna miss a
I
few
don't know if
months.
he's, I don't know if he's coming back this season.
You don't know. I think they. I mean, that sucks, but I think they still have. They could probably still do it.
They could find a way to win, but
Yeah.
like that definitely hurts not having him for sure. Like he
Giannis, I think
easily could have
Giannis
been
made a
six
mistake.
man.
I think Giannis made a mistake signing the supermax.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, the Bucks, they had 29 threes the other night, but they really are, I think, one of the most boring teams. Like the most
It's not
boring
even about
team to
being
watch.
boring. It's just that I don't. And here's the thing: I want Giannis to be great. Like I don't want him to. It took Jordan what 8 years to win a ring. It took Bron 9 years to win a ring. I mean, Jordan stayed on one team. LeBron went to another team. Giannis is in his. I think he's been in what 8 years now. I think he's been in the league since he was 18. Um, like I want him to be great. Like I don't. He doesn't have to be a player that leaves his team to go to another team to win because he got there and he turned into a franchise player. Like his play translated into wins and made the Bucks a better team. Like the Bucks went from freaking spill water on me with Jason Kidd, or I think that was the Bucks, or was that the Nets? I'm not sure, but they went from a trash team.
That may have been the ooh. Yeah, I
It
don't
was
know.
it
It
was
was
in
the Nets.
Barclays. It was in Barclays. That's what I remember. So it might have been the
Yeah, it was
Nets,
Nets
but
or Bucks. It was
Nets or
definitely one of
Bucks.
them.
But they were trash. He becomes better. He takes his game seriously. They become better. So
Yeah,
he is the franchise player. He is a great player. But I don't think his play now is going to translate to finals contention. Like you
I
will
don't either.
dominate in the regular season
I think
because
he's still too one-dimensional.
yeah, he's one dimensional, but his talent, you will bully everyone. Like you will win MVPs,
Yeah, I
DPOYs,
mean,
but you got to and even if he takes that one dimensional like style of play into the playoffs, I just don't think the team right now he has is gonna get him far. Like
yeah, I don't either.
that you
But
had a if you have a solid team, you have a 60-win team, and you kind of cut that out because now you only have Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton and Brooke Lopez. You can't cut out your team when your star player is one dimensional.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I don't think
It's
they're
not
deep
like your
enough.
star player is kind of like all dimensional. It's like a LeBron. Like there's some things that are so important that he can't do that will result in you not going far in the playoffs, and they cannot be accommodated by your teammates because your teammates
Yeah,
aren't freaking Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant. Like
because
I'm not
we
saying Drew
know.
Holiday or Chris Middleton aren't buckets, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? They're most
Yeah.
likely not going to translate into wins for you or
Well, so here's my
playoff
thing.
wins.
So we know that defense clamps down starting in the playoffs. Like regular
Right.
season, it's there, but we know playoff time, like it clamps.
They play 82 games. Like they can't play
This
defense
man,
all 82
yeah,
games.
this man got exposed by the Heat
Two
last
years
year
in
for
a
sure.
row. Let's be real. 2 years
Yeah,
in a
if
row.
it wasn't evident from the Raptors series, it was
Yeah.
this season or last season. Like they would just close him off like 20 feet from the basket, and he had nothing. He had nothing
Nothing.
for him.
Nothing.
And so I just don't think that they're deep enough, especially since they couldn't get Bogdanovich. Like I just don't think they're deep enough
They're not deep enough. They're not deep enough.
to make that run to the finals.
Outside of the starting five, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know who you rocking with. Like they
Yeah.
don't like they have a good starting five at this point. I don't think it's
And that's how I
enough.
feel about the Rockets too. I don't think okay, they have Wall, Harden, and Cousins. Okay. But like
They have Christian Wood too. Don't leave
Christian
out
Wood's
Christian Wood.
nice.
Yeah.
Christian Wood is nice. Now they finally have a big again instead of trading
They got
away
two big. I
Capella.
mean, they play Christian Wood at the four, Cousins Boogie at the five. I'm telling you, they nice. I mean, they got Eric Gordon still. They got Daniel House, but yeah, go ahead, continue. I don't want to interrupt you.
Well, yeah, Christian was nice. He was one of the guys I was hoping. Excuse me. I was hoping that the Spurs would pick up in free agency.
Boy, if the Lakers
Him or a
picked up,
Drummond type,
if the
somewhat some
Lakers picked
big
up Christian Wood, bruh,
would have
what
been
the?
GG no re.
Yeah,
But they got Trez. Trez has been balling for him.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, I don't like. It remains to be seen. It's early in the season still, and like I'm sure for the first month, it's still going to be treated like preseason ish. You
Oh,
know,
for sure, for sure.
teams
You
feeling
can
it
tell
out
by
with the
these
shortened
games.
training camp.
Yep,
Yeah,
yeah.
so remains to be seen. I would say by the end of the first half of the season, once that break comes, we'll for sure have a better idea of how each conference is going to shape up. You know,
Okay, I see it as I think we'll know after the All Star break. Honestly, I think that's when I'll see like what teams are serious, what teams aren't, and who are the real contenders. Because we all have in our mind, or we all have this consensus of who we expect to see in the finals. But obviously, once you get to the playoffs, it just playoff basketball is different. Obviously, like you can't, and I don't even think the players are like taking the regular season game seriously either. But I mean, it's early in the season. I don't expect them to, but playoff basketball is a different monster. And when things like ramp up and everyone's healthy, quote unquote, just the talent in the East from the Nets, I think just pure talent, they could get by to the finals. But when you factor in like team play, the defense, and the coaching and stuff like that, I don't see anyone beating that team. Um, but I
I think the
think it was
Celtics
a.
are definitely the biggest threat as of right now.
Here's the thing. I love my Celtics. All right. I love my Celtics. Do I think we have enough? As of right now, I think we do. I think last year we were lacking. We were lacking like some big man rotational point guard. I think the pickups of Tristan Thompson and Jeff Teague were great. Like we
I
needed
do
those.
love the Jeff Teague pickup, especially that
I'm not
Kemba's
gonna
out.
lie. Like I thought it was just like okay, like whatever, because like I know what Jeff Teague brings, but backing up Kemba, he's gonna be great because Kemba gives up some
Yeah,
size. Jeff Teague is really like he's a strong point guard. Tristan Thompson gives us rebounding, offensive rebounding, and he also takes minutes off of Tice. So here's we're gonna be nice, but in a 7 game series, we would have to be playing '08 basketball, bro. If if we're gonna beat the Nets, I think we could beat the Bucks for sure. 7 games, I think we could definitely beat the Bucks. But the Nets in 7 games, where you have to worry about containing Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, it's manageable. We can do it, but we would have to be playing hella good basketball. So it's kind of a long shot, but
I am also interested in seeing what the Heat can bring after their run last year.
sorry.
You
You
can
said
disrespect them
Miami.
all you. They went to the finals.
You said Miami. I was just like, I thought it was nighttime.
You can disrespect them all you want. They beat the Celtics. They beat the Bucks.
Man, everyone said they beat the Celtics. Celtics beat ourselves. We ain't even lose to the Heat. We just played too light skinned.
All right. Well, I know Ant would have something different to say
I
about
know
that,
Ant will have something to say.
but
Ant already said his piece. I just don't like. I don't see the Heat as like the better team, especially for the first 2 games of that series. I don't think the Heat were on anything like crazy. I just think the Celtics folded like a bitch. Like they just did not close the game. I told this to you before, but if the Celtics could close, they would have been up 2-0 in that series. At least they might have lost, but like up 2-0, history's on our side when we're up 2-0. So
yeah, I mean they should have
I
closed out
just
the Raptors
what are
way
they? What
quicker
are
than
they?
they
The
did.
Heat. The Heat are a good team. Jimmy Butler. Again, I don't think anyone's going past these Nets, bro. Just talent
Yeah,
wise, like
I
you
think
could put Jimmy Butler
I'd
on
agree.
KD
Yeah,
or Kyrie. What's gonna happen? Somebody getting toasted. All right, you could put Jimmy Butler on KD. KD's still gonna toast Jimmy Butler, but then who are you putting on Kyrie? Name me one person on the Heat that could contain Kyrie.
I mean I probably can't name you any players that could contain him in the league. Maybe like
That's
two or
facts.
three tops.
That's facts.
Like
So somebody getting off, and it's either going to be Kyrie or Kevin Durant. Then you got to worry about the young core that they have. Maybe if they have Dinwiddie back, I don't know. But you got to worry about Levert, Joe Harris be knocking down threes and shit. DeAndre Jordan's still a good presence. Jared Allen's still a good defensive presence. I don't know. I think the East is wraps, to be honest. The only conference I think is still like teams are still fighting in is the Western Conference. Like I think the
yeah,
East, the Nets are locked. As long as and like
they
they
need
stay
to.
healthy, they'll be locked.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
if they lose any more players, definitely in jeopardy. But I think if
yeah.
they can at least keep this squad healthy come playoff time, yeah,
I think
they'll
you
be
need you need you need Kyrie and Katie healthy for sure. That's
yeah,
that's that's the main
it's
thing.
given. Yeah,
Yeah.
but after losing Dinwiddie too, like you need DeAndre, you need Jared Allen, like you need that rim protection.
Mm-hmm.
You need someone like Joe Harris that can give you like could give you a bucket or
Can
two if you need
snap
it.
snap if he wants to.
Yeah,
Karis LeVert's a go-to bucket, so you know
Karis
he's gonna
LeVert
do.
balled out in the bubble. We know what he can do.
Yep. Totally wrote off the Raptors. Um, I don't think the Raptors are on anything either. Yeah, like I said, I think the East
I don't
is
either.
the East is all wrapped up. The Western Conference is just different, and again, I think if here's the thing with the going back to the Rocket situation. When you are playing and your star player wants to leave, bro, I promise you, it's the it's the most like annoying, like tickling feeling like ever. Like it's kind of like a bittersweet feeling. I know it's early in the season and probably nothing's gonna happen now. Hopefully nothing happens now. But when you're playing and your star player, you know your star player isn't hasn't bought into hasn't bought into the team or is just looking elsewhere. I get these guys are professionals, but at the same time, it's kind of like, bro, are you with us or not? You know, and
That's what I'm saying.
having him not
That's
say that he's locked into that. This is why I'm saying like the Rockets, they can be. I believe this. Like I really believe they can be finals contenders, but they all have to be bought in. If they buy into like what's about to happen and like what each of them can bring to the table, this is a nasty team, bro. Like everyone's talking about the
yeah. I
Clippers, the
just don't know if he's
Lakers, the
gonna buy in.
Nuggets. I
You
mean,
know,
the depth, yeah, maybe the depth isn't there, but I mean, some of the players that are getting playing time now, they look alright. But if they bought in, bro, John Wall, Harden, Christian Wood, DeMarcus Cousins, you bring these guys, keep these guys healthy to the playoffs, and they're all bought into this, into freaking getting to the like finals or bust. I think they could be so dangerous, yo. I really do.
I
I
agree.
really
I
do.
just don't know if Harden's gonna buy in, and I don't know. And again,
And
I'd
I'm
want to
saying like he
see.
doesn't have a reason not to. Like you're not going anywhere. Like no one's straight. Like
Well, I
you
think he's still
can't go
hoping he
anywhere.
will.
You
He's still
can't go
hoping.
anywhere. Like, here's the thing. I've watched so many pundits like say, "Oh, what if he goes to Brooklyn Nets? What if he goes there?" Like, he can't go anywhere. What other situation? Like, who is trading for him? Like, who would put? You're not. You can't. Obviously, the Rockets would need like back a star player or a superstar player or half your freaking team. You're not going. What are you going to go to the Sixers? What, it's just going to be you and Embiid, and you're going to put Ben Simmons on the Rockets with John Wall? Ben Simmons just shot a three last night. That was his third three of his career. You're not bringing Ben Simmons to Houston, right? You're not putting Harden on Philly and saying, "Oh, you wanted to be on a contending squad? Okay, we'll send you to Philly." Philly hasn't been on shit since Embiid got there. So I don't get, like, you're not going anywhere. Maybe you want out of the city. Maybe you just want a new environment. But where you are right now, you have good pieces, and you have pieces that can help you win. So if you either buy in, sign a 1 year contract like Jordan or something like that, 2 year contract, I don't know, buy into that system and see what the fuck you can do. It makes no sense looking elsewhere when literally elsewhere is not getting you to the finals. Like there's, unless you somehow get on the Nets and they keep KD and Kyrie, like you're not going anywhere, bro. You're not going to a Western Conference team, obviously. It's like you have a great team. Like, why not try to make this work? I promise you, I understand, like, you've been there. You've been one game away from the finals. But at this point, where the hell, like, there's nowhere to go. Like, at least the place you're trying to leave has a decent team. Like, at least you can still win on it. At least you won't be a loser on it. You know what I mean? You're not going to be a loser
Yeah,
on this team.
they'll still be good for
You're gonna be
sure.
top five in the West for sure. You're gonna be top five in the West. Like everyone stays healthy, you'll be top five in the West. You can play off ball. You don't have to have the load of, you know. I mean, he probably wants that shit. Like you'll have the load of carrying the team whenever, you know, maybe the ball's not in John Wall's hands. But at least you have a player now, a dynamic player that attracts the attention of a Chris Paul, that you know is a pass first point guard and can get to the rim. He can shoot. He's not afraid to shoot. Like you have a great big man, DeMarcus Cousins, Christian Wood, the most slept on big man ever. He's a great four. You have a good situation in Houston. Like why? I don't know. You might as well just buy in right now. Run a year, see how it goes. Put everything in the year. Don't just run a year and be like, oh, okay, all right, I'm just gonna play with this team until something opens up. No, like go fully hearted, like go into this season and actually try to ball out with this team and see what happens.
Yeah, I just don't know how. Like, I don't know what the relationship is between Harden and the top brass at this point.
Yeah,
So, You
It's
know, I
probably
don't
sour as
know.
shit.
I don't know. Yeah, I like it sounds good in practice, but how much is he actually going to buy in? And that's why I'm not sold on them because if they don't have him, they're not going anywhere. If they do have
Yeah.
him and he's not going to buy in because he's still playing right now and he's still playing really
And
well,
he's freaking
you know.
out of shape dropping 40 bombs, bruh.
Yeah.
Like this is like he gives
If
me
he really
Shaq
buys
vibes,
in,
yo.
yeah, if he really buys in, that'll be nice. But
It'll be
like,
so nice.
what are the chances that he does that? I don't know yet.
I think he has to definitely say though. You know what I mean? Because when some of the reporters asked him about like the trade and stuff and the situation in Houston, he was like, next question. Like he wasn't taking like the questions about like how he feels like about
Yeah,
if he
I
wants to
wouldn't
move and
really
stuff like that.
expect him to though,
So
to
I
be
think
honest.
if we'll know he buys in when he comes out and says it. Oh, I'm just like I'm focused on team success and stuff like that and what we can
Yeah,
do this year. So he'll have to say it for us to know like that he bought it. Like we won't know he
yeah,
bought it until he tells us whether it's cap or not. Like he has to say
yeah,
it.
yeah. And I think he should because they do have a good team, and with him they'd be great. But you know,
Without him was I just like again I'm looking at this situation like, bro, you're not going anywhere. Like there's no available suitor for you, so you might as well ball out here. Like let's say if you don't want that load of like just carrying the team, just say, hey John, you're back from injury, carry this fucking team. Like I'll help you out, just carry this team. I don't want the ball. I don't know, something. But don't leave a team that has a healthy DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, and Christian Wood. Like
yeah,
you're not gonna find a better situation than that. I mean, you're not finessing the Brooklyn Nets, obviously. So it's whatever, man. That's what I think about the Houston situation. Solid.
yeah.
All right. That wasn't bad. I want to get my background fixed though. I'm not gonna lie. I really want my background to be fixed because I want to put the Celtics. I
Yeah,
want to put the Celtics banner behind.
I
I
love
actually
my
want to put a
background.
Kobe picture behind me. That would actually be pretty
Should
dope if
do
I
it.
could put like a Kobe like
I
GG
wonder.
picture.
I wonder if the chair is part of why it's not
Nah,
plugged in.
the chair is blue. The chair is fine. It's
Also,
this. It's yellow, bro. I don't have a green screen. I have a yellow screen. Look at this.
like,
See all this? That's yellow. The computer picks that up as yellow, so
yeah.
it'll copy my
Oh, I got you. I
front
got you.
face real quick. Yeah,
Yeah,
just knocked over my mic. Yeah, I need a green screen for real. I'm trying to. This is a bed sheet.
yeah. You
Oh,
should get a green screen.
yeah.
You should also stop recording so you don't have to worry about chopping it up
What you
later.
mean? Oh,
We're still recording.
well, I didn't even do the outro yet.
Well, then why are we talking about this shit?
All right, well, fuck bitches get
Do
money.
the
All right,
outro.
peace.
Oh wait, hold on. Watch this. What? You remember the Tim Duncan gif where he throws
Yes,
up the piece?
yes. I'll sign off. I'll sign off every Pound the Rock podcast throwing up the 2-4. Shouts out. Well, rest in peace, Kobe. Rest in peace, Gigi. Um, this is the first trial edition of the Pound the Rock podcast featuring the homie, Mr. Ruben. This is second degree. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you want to see us do more of these podcasts, they'll probably be shorter and more focused on a certain topic. This is really just a trial run, just to see the reaction from the public and how we like it as well. But until next time, I'll see you guys. When I see you guys, take it easy. Peace.
Peace.